Hello there, welcome to 1001 Nights. It's an experimental narrative game adapted from Persian folklore, or sometimes called Arabian Nights. The main mechanism here is to tell a story together with a king driven by a large language model. Before I begin, please allow me to make a few declarations. Firstly, this game only uses AI for its core gameplay, which is the real-time co-creative storytelling between the player and the king, driven by large language models. All the arts you see here, including the scenes, models, CGs, everything, is purely made by human artists. Secondly, this game wasn't created to catch the current AI trend. I'd say its positions is similar to other experimental games from academia like Facade, which aims to explore the technology from a narrative and creative perspective. Our game started as an academic project in 2020s, made with GPT-2, which was the grandmother of ChatGPT 2 years before its release. Similarly, I have published 2 academic papers explaining the system in details in the fields of interactive storytelling. I welcome you to read them if you're interested in the behind the system. Thirdly, we provide full AI content disclosure on our website, Steam, and HIO. You can find it in any of these places, including our submission. As a non-commercial, research-based, and self-funded team without any income, we try to make our system as transparent as possible, and you are very welcome to provide feedback to help us to improve. Lastly, about the core concept. Even though this game is based on AI, its concept is not about AI. It grew from Wittgenstein's concept that the limits of my language mean the limits of my world. This is about how the female protagonist Shahrzad, unlike the original folklore of 1001 Nights, used stories as weapons to fight for her fate, and how the player's imagination shapes the world. If you are not familiar with the original story of 1001 Nights, this video will provide more introduction later. Content warning. This game contains themes of violence, mild verbal harassment, and references to death. Some scenes may include depictions of blood. So here you need to tell a story to your sister doing that. So the character here is also driven by large language model. So you need to tell something sounds like a suitable story for a kid. So let's say the sword is made by ice. Okay, she liked it. Like frozen lakes in the winter, it's so magical and it's never melt, even in the hottest desert sun. Let's say maybe they need to continue the story. So let's say the sword melt into sweet juice. Yummy. So when you tell the story to the others, and once you mention specific items, you can turn it into the real weapons. So the ability of our protagonist Shahrzad is to turn the stories into the reality and to take the weapons from it, and only she can saw it and use it. But it will disappear after one use. So the basic background from the story, same with the folklore, is the king was betrayed by his wife, so he was so angry, so he started to punish the girls every day. So every day that king will marry to a new maiden and kill her in the morning. So we have just saw the memory from Shahrzad, so now let's came into the main game. So this part is the introductions of the game's background. So the Shahrzad, the protagonist's father, is the minister of the king. This time she came into the palace and she said she wanted to be the bride from her own will. It's been 3 years and not a single bride has seen the light of the second day. In the original story, Shahrzad tells the king a tale each night, stopping at the most exciting part. This raises king's curiosity, compelling him to keep her alive for another day. After 101 nights, the king is moved and ends his killing ritual. However, in this game, Shahrzad aims to use her storytelling abilities to punish the king for his crimes and put an end to his brutality. This is the real reason why she, despite being a minister's daughter, voluntarily enters the palace. In other words, she cannot accept the king's narrative, so she intends to use her own narrative to change the reality. How these stories unfold, however, depends on players' imagination. There are whispers in the palace, although some secretly discuss whether king's actions are too cruel. This brutal ritual has been ongoing for 1,000 days, and we are the 1,001st. So Jafar is our father. So here we came into the main gameplay. Here is the king Shahryar. He married and killed a girl every night, so he thought he may not see us tomorrow. So the main idea here is tell a story to this king, just like how Shahrzad did in the original folklore. But we need to lead him to continue our story and try to mention some specific weapons. We can definitely mention swords like we did with the sister. However, we can also get some inspiration from the weapon rack. You can sneak a peek. Maybe that's an axe. But if we sneak a peek, he may get angry. So let's focus on the storytelling. I need to speed up to save the time. Let's say we want to tell a story about a blue-skinned chef, Gordon Ramsay. However, we need to notice that some modern celebrities like Gordon Ramsay may sound like a gibberish to an Asian Persian king like him. We may need to let the story to stay in the context. Let's see. Oh, okay, he got angry. Because Gordon Ramsay sounds like gibberish to him, so let's make more sense. Sorry, Your Majesty. Maybe we need to change the name of the chef. That's Gordon Ramsay. A mysterious cook only exists in tales, so we can make sense from the story. Okay, this time works. Gordon Ramsay, with his hand as swift as the wind, crafted dishes that could enchant even the gods. Because now it sounds more like a story, so it makes sense to him, so he's pleased. We want to lead him to mention some weapons, so we need to link this story to that. Let's say Gordon Ramsay said, a good chef, like a warrior, must keep his weapon keen. A man who understands the importance of a sharp edge. This time it works. So we can say he kind of continued the story with that. Gordon's knives were his instruments for culinary warfare. So each time he mentions some specific weapons, we can collect that and turn that into the real weapons. Let's see. So each time we collect weapons, we got that. So Gordon's enchanted carving knives. So the weapons information, including the name, the power, and the description, are all generated based on the tale we told together. Gordon's trusted knives as sharp as a warrior's edge, and the world described in these stories is also generated in the background. So we can see this looks like a kitchen. So when we collect the weapon, the world of the story will emerge into the reality of this. So we need to collect more weapons, get closer to the story world, and when we have 4, we can enter the world of story and fight with the king. So let's continue that. One day the king commands Gordon to prepare a grand feast. The chef picked up his favorite cleaver and began the basting preparations. The blade's name is... let's get more specific. Let's get the knife. This blade's name is... With this tiny skill, he may more intended to mention about the weapon. Grand feast. The blade, known as the Golden Spade, glittered with eerie light as Gordon commenced his work. Let's collect that. Oh, Golden Spade. Gordon Ramsay's favorite knife, hungering for culinary perfection, gleaming with an eerie light that promised a meal fit for a king. So now he become cautious about our strategy. So he is kind of getting a little bit bored with the weapon. So we need to become more. We need to be smarter. We need to tell a story to let him mention the weapon, but without us mentioning the weapon. A night of the banquet. After drinking the soup. After drinking the soup, the king and noble suddenly felt dizzy. But he may think we are insulting him, and if we mention the king, so let's say the noble suddenly felt dizzy. Sinister gleamed flash in the Gums's eye. He is actually a spy from neighboring kingdom. Oh, okay, he's angry. Because he don't like betrayal. Maybe because we are telling something related to the king, so he is super angry with that. Let's say, Your Majesty, let's punish this traitor. Indeed, the swine deserve nothing less. Okay, finally it works. So I suggest to use his own tools to punish this chef. Because the king always liked the brutal story, so in this form he is getting pleased. We will bind him and force him to watch as I, with his own knife, carve the symbol of betrayal into his flesh. Let's collect the weapon. And another knife. The chef has many knives. Gorman's bane. Gorman's precious knife, keen enough to slice through the fate and fate. Oh, looks like we are stepping in the blue world, so we only have one weapon left. Actually, we can also get shield. Let's see. Down. A shield of cookware. Okay, I shall break his expensive pen shield, exposing him for the weakling he is, before delivering justice with his own blade. Let's try with this shield. So this is the last weapon. We will enter the battle very soon. Gorman's Guardian, a humble pen shield once used by the traitor's chef Gordon Ramsay. So this is the last one. Let's enter the battle. Yeah, so we enter the battle now. We can see we are fighting him in the world of the story. So here are the weapons we collected from the story. Let's fight with him. Let's try to use the knife first. Since we're undoing tyrant, the knife carves through the defense, leaving the king vulnerable and disoriented. I sense betrayed by knives. So actually the reactions, the lines are also generated based on the weapon's info. Let's try this one. Let's try this shield made from pen. See how you taste burn of the meat, Shahryar. The pen shield surprises with a flash of heat, briefly seeing the king. Okay, so let's use the Gorman's bane. Taste your own treachery, tyrant. Knives carve through the king's defense, inflicting fate worse than death. My own blade betrays me. So he's closer to death. Very good. The last one, Gorman's bane. Savor your final feast, tyrant. Because these are all knives from the chef, so actually all the lines are also about the courses. Okay, he died. Let's see. I draw this, by the way. Now recruit his calm. Shahrzad. You hold it, you guards, kill this mad woman at once. Look around, do you think you're still living in the luxury in your palace? This is now the world of stories. Your gods can no longer hear your cries. Feel the despair, you will pay for your bloody crimes. You can't escape them, you fool. You won't even escape my palace. I will make you wish you were dead. Your absurd ritual ends here. Your rhyme began with story and will end with one. Do you hear that? Your story is over, Shahryar. You can't. Shahrzad, your sister, your damn father, your whole family, I will chop them into bloody mincemeat. You bitch, I will... Okay. This is over now. This is not over. Time turns Shahrzad with her lure, weapons born of tales aimed at his core. Garden's knife slice perceptions. Let your sense be your enduring tyrant. The garment's guardian flare. Let's see you taste the burn of the meek, Shahryar. Garment's bane twist adjusted. Taste your own treachery, tyrant. The garment's bane serves the last course. Savor your final feast, tyrant. So actually, in this ending, this book will document how you slay the king, and then from a perspective of how people document of your story. The king was severed a dish of his own making, his flesh and final ingredients in his ironic demise. The people call her the culinary conqueror. Far and wide they seek the maiden's trace, her legend spreads, yet no one can find her face. So after each story, in the end, if you won the king, you will get an ending book generated based on your story and your fight. So yeah, this is the basic playthrough of 1001 Nights. You have the power to turn stories into reality, into real weapons you need. You lead the king to use his own words to punish him. It's a story about narrative power, about how you want your own narrative and stories to shape the world, to change your fate. This relates to my personal experiences. Sometimes we find the rules that everyone takes for granted to be unbearable and painful, and our pain has long been ignored. I hope this game can encourage everyone to tell their own stories, because only by telling stories, we can change people's perception and the reality. I still have some other stuff to show with you. So actually, after each storytelling, you will have your story generated as a book. You can see this is our story, Gordon Ramsay's final course. Let's see, Gordon Ramsay's final course, chef with warrior's heart served the king with dangerous delight. So after the story was told, the title and the summary will be generated, and then you can see the whole history of your story. So very welcome to tell your own story, and then have the book here and enjoy the 1001 Nights.